I have a thumbs up, so let's go ahead and open up the doors. Got a thumbs up from Dr. Wallach also. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc.com, sponsored by dailywithdoc.com. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am excited to be able to bring this information and this show to you daily, Monday through Friday, from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time, where we are taking information that has been researched and proven by science to be actually correct, folks. Not some theory, not some hypothesis, but taking a thought, researching, going all the way in as deep as the pathology of it, thousands of times, to prove that the body requires 90 essential nutrients, not just to survive, but not just to survive, but folks, we want to thrive. And that's what this program is all about, is providing information that allows you to be able to make decisions on your own health and the health of your families so that you can all thrive. And as we thrive as individuals, we're able to help our communities thrive, and together we can help the world thrive as well. I just want to do a quick little disclaimer that the content of this program is to provide educational information only on the importance of nutrition. This program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor is it meant to treat, diagnose, or prevent any diseases. But folks, when you give your body what it needs, the body itself can do some amazing things. You can't take away from that. Nobody can disprove that. Is what we put into our bodies, what we have in our surroundings, are all part of the science of epigenetics. And I'm excited that we have with us one of the founding fathers of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. So Dr. Wallach, welcome to Daily with Doc. I want to just make sure that everybody knows that this is a resource for a greater community. So if somebody shared this program with you, whether you're here live or watching the replay, make sure that you get back with them and thank them for sharing this information, because they took the time and cared enough about you. You may have something going on that somebody thought of you and wanted to share this program. So listen up, folks, because what is spoken in this program, like I said, it's proven. It's backed by science. And it's been written about in over 23 books that you can find at drjwallach.com. That is drjwallach.com. That is where Dr. Wallach has all of his publications, whether they're in book form or audio form or ebook form. That is your one-stop source for all of Dr. Wallach's publications, all of his books, plus some extras of people that he has found worthy enough for him to endorse and carry their books as well. So Dr. Wallach, you started as a student working on a Bachelor of Science. You became a doctor of you became a doctor of veterinary science. So you went from agriculture and moved into veterinary. And then that research that you had as a student took you around the world to help save the white rhino. So if you can save the white rhino, I know you can save us. Okay. AJ said that as we were doing our pre-show. What information do you have that can help us most when it comes to keeping our blood healthy? Because our blood is like our life source throughout our body. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So if we don't have blood flow, and if our blood's not healthy, then a lot of stuff can go wrong. So folks, I am pleased to introduce to you the one, the only, Dr. Joel Wallach. Take it away, Doc.
Okay, well, thank you, Becca. And yeah, today we want to talk about hemoglobin, one of very important, one of many important, but a very important substance. Makes up 30+% of the mass of red blood cells. Okay, 30% of the mass of red blood cells is hemoglobin, the red stuff, and it carries oxygen from the lungs to all the tissues in the body. It's literally designed to carry oxygen to all the cells of the body. I mean, that's an amazing thing when you think about it. And in addition to 30% being iron, okay, 30% of the hemoglobin is iron, but then there's also sulfur, there's copper, there's many other nutrients in there that are required to make red blood cells and hemoglobin. And so this is B12 is another one, very important. And so it's one of those things where you have to say, okay, priorities are priorities. We need oxygen. You're not going to live longer than 4 or 5 minutes without oxygen. Okay. So these are very important things. And we don't think much about them because the good Lord put everything in perspective. And if we're doing everything right, it just all happens within the mechanisms of the cells renewing themselves and functioning as they're designed to do. But if you are missing these nutrients, because these nutrients do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. And if you live in a place, okay, where there's no iron in the soil, you're in trouble, okay? Because the plants don't need iron. We need iron. All the animals need iron. That's why you find places on earth where you don't find animals. Oh, there's probably no iron in the soil, no oxygen, okay? So that's why you don't find animals in the deserts and stuff like that, because a lot of these nutrients are just not there to provide the basic stuff that we need. And so this is why we designed the programs that we have. We know we need the 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, including iron, okay? We need 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids, and these are the basics. And then we learned that there's other things that are kind of peripheral, but they're important, okay? And so it's kind of like the windshield wiper fluid. Okay, it's important. It's not essential, but it's going to keep you from getting into an accident and all this kind of stuff. So it's important that you have that. Well, the same thing is true with things that we need. And so this is why we wrote the 23 books. We have this flip chart coming out now. I'm very excited about that. We're just about ready to have a printing. I'm not going to put pressure on you and say when, but I know it's coming up quick. And we're going to.
You just
What?
just did. You just added more pressure onto it. So, folks, yeah, we are working on that flip chart, getting everything fine tuned, everything lined up just right. And we will have that out. Definitely will be in time for Christmas, but I'm hoping in time for like Veterans Day earlier.
Well, yeah, what about Thanksgiving?
Veterans Day comes before Thanksgiving.
Well, there you go. Let's go for that. Okay. It's one of those things where we want to get this out there because we can save humanity with the information that's in this flip chart. 73 pages. We're looking at dozens of different diseases that we have found the cause, prevention, and cure for. And so we feel very comfortable with putting this together. And it's written in such a way that a sixth grader, okay, or somebody who's an adult, but they only graduated high school, never went any farther, but they can use this flip chart and they're giving a presentation that will sound like they're a PhD or a medical doctor. They just read each a couple of paragraphs which is on each disease, okay? And so we're very, very excited about this. And again, we're going to give a discount when people buy 10 of those flip charts at the same time to give away as Christmas presents, especially people who are in their businesses or their families and stuff like that. When you get 10 of those flip charts, we'll give you a discount. And we're doing all the math and everything to find out where that discount will be, how much it'll be. And, you'll save a lot of money if you're going to buy 10 of them or 100 of them or whatever. And this flip chart is going to help you build your longevity business. It's going to help your family add many healthy years to their lives. And this is something that's good for you, your family, your community, your workplace, your churches, your um, every place you can think of, your temples. Okay, it's one of those things where you really, really, really have to say, okay, this is not going to bypass the Bible. Okay, the Bible is still the classic source of information for life and death. But what's next? Oh, our flip chart. Okay, and so we're very excited about this because it covers these things, and there's a book that goes along with it, the Wallach Revolution, because people need to have a little bit of a background while we're saying what we're saying and so forth. And so that's in this book. And so that goes along. It's part of the flip chart, the Wallach Revolution. And we're very, very excited about this. This is going to really have an enormous positive impact on the health of humanity. So we're very proud of that. But again, getting back to hemoglobin, where is hemoglobin made in the body? Is it made in every tissue? No. Hemoglobin is made in the liver. No. Hemoglobin is made in the bone marrow. Okay. Hemoglobin is made in the bone marrow. And the bone marrow requires a lot of nutrition it does like 50 different things, one of which that's the liver. Now the bone marrow makes about 50 different things. It makes red blood cells, makes white blood cells, makes platelets so you can get blood clots when it's necessary. Makes white blood cells to be part of your immune system. It makes antibodies to help protect you against bad proteins and cancers and things like that. Now that's just some of the things that your bone marrow does. And so that's why we came up with the healthy bone and joint pack. Okay, the healthy bone and joint pack, which is the healthy start pack. And we started out with glucogel, which was our first collagen product. And then we also realized there was other things that were needed. So we came up with the, what should I say, we have all kinds of collagen peptides. We have all kinds of sources of minerals, including the plant minerals, which have 75 minerals in there. And this gives our bone marrow what it needs to make what it needs to make, including hemoglobin. Okay, so I'm very, very proud of this. The good Lord is a great, what should I say, creator. Okay, not only for the individual critters like us, but also all the little pieces, just think of all the biochemistry that the good Lord had to put together to allow our bone marrow, okay, to make red blood cells, including the hemoglobin and all the other stuff that's in the red blood cell. I mean, I just think that's so amazing that this was all put together this way. And this is not something that a human being could have done millions of years ago, okay? A human being didn't have any, what should I say, any background in biochemistry and biology and that kind of stuff. And so this was something that was created from the beginning. So it had to be in the hands of the good Lord. So we'll give the good Lord all the credit. And we just want to make sure that everybody has access to the information. And that's why we went to the flip chart, okay? And because people are saying, well, how could I do the presentation like you do, Wallach? And I'm thinking to myself, well, how can we do that? And we have videos and that kind of stuff. We have the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And there's a CD that went along with it. We sold 90 million. Is that right? Yeah. Is that right? We sold, 40 million. I'm sorry. Only 40 million. Only 40 million. Dead Doctors Don't
400
Lie.
million, Dr. Wallach.
Huh?
400 million, over 400 million.
Over 400 million. Okay, well, this is 25 years old. This information is 25 years old. So now it's 400 million, okay? Dead Doctors Don't Lie, audio tapes. Wow, very excited about that. And so we're saving people, even if they don't buy our products, we save people because we give them information. Okay, and so we're very, very proud of that. And so thank you for correcting me. What should I say? Yeah, that book came 25 years ago, so I have to do a new edition now. So now it's 400 million, not 40,000, not 40 million. Was it?
Now you have one of the original in front of you, one of the first editions. I think yours is the second edition. My edition is not even the most current edition, Dr. Wallach. And on mine, it says 350 million. And this was as of 2016. And I know that there's another one since then that says over 40 million, because your work, 400 million. See, now you got me saying the wrong thing. 400
million.
And that's around the world.
Yeah, it's in 17 languages, 17 languages. So
yeah,
obviously we connected. And so that's the important thing. We connected. We're getting information to people of all languages, all races, all genders, all political aspects. And we have contributed to the benefit of humanity. And we're very, very proud of that. And so these books are available. If you buy 10 of any one title at the same time, you get a nice discount. Okay, and give them away as presents or sell them at the regular price, one by one and make a little bit of extra profit. Okay. And so this is why longevity has been such a big positive impact on human health, because of all this research we did. We're talking 32,000 autopsies. 32,000 autopsies. Okay, not many other people have done that. And so it's a great learning process. And without that, there would have been a waste of all the information that went down into the graves of people who died of nutritional deficiencies and all kinds of stuff that didn't need to happen. And we were able to prove that everything the doctors were saying were genetic or not. Okay, and we can prevent them, in many cases reverse them with just nutrition. And I mean, what a thing to be able to say, yeah, just change. And of course, Dr. Milan and I, we did 1,700 autopsies on kids in China. And you can tell in the book, Epigenetics, go to the references and under Wallach, under the W's, I think it's like number 3 or 4. You can tell which one it is, which article it is for those 1,700 autopsies in China, because of the 6 or 7 co-authors, I think it's 4 or 5 of them are Chinese, so you can't miss it. And get a hold of that article. Okay, it'll blow your mind.
Well, Dr. Wallach, I love the fact that you have taken the time to put this information into books, and like the rare earths forbidden cures, where it talks about the glacial milk and the land flowing with milk and honey not being actual milk, but glacial milk coming from high up in the mountains, carrying those minerals down into the areas where people were gathering their water, feeding their livestock or watering their livestock, and also their gardens.
Yeah, and drinking it, making their wine with it, all that kind of stuff, cooking with it. And of course, this book was the total result of that study that Dr. Milan and I did in China. It's all in English, but all that data came from our work we did in China. Okay.
Yeah.
It was like crazy. Okay. All the stuff we did, we had lots of publications in English and Chinese. And so we're very, very proud of that.
Well, Carrie in California here says, I'm ordering these books when I hit the 300 club this month. You can do it, Carrie. You can do it. Not a problem at all. And that's coming from somebody that's hit it 3 years in a row. There would have been a 4th, but 1 month I missed it. So you can do it. Well, again, I want everybody to know that Dr. Wallach's books can be found at drjwallach.com. That is drjwallach.com. And in this book, Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, it also has the information about how to go about getting a hair analysis. And even though this book was published, I think in 2016, the price of the hair analysis has not changed. The address has not changed. And, oh, I was wrong. 2018. Folks, Dr. Wallach has been researching for so long. I still am able to talk to people who reach out to us and say, you know what, 25 years ago, I had received in the mail this cassette, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. I listened to it several times, but I never acted on it, and it's time. That was somebody that's been listening to that, and it's not just one. Dr. Wallach, I can think of more than, I think probably 24 that I've heard that same story with. I received Dr. Wallach's CD, or it was the cassette mostly, so long ago, and you are still at it, going strong, sharing the same message, Dr. Wallach, that folks, we're not chemical deficient, we're mineral deficient. And even if you are eating a good diet, quote unquote, the minerals in your soil is different than the minerals that are going to be in the soil even 50, 40 miles away, because the minerals are not uniform throughout the crust of the earth. And the plants that are growing, if the minerals are not in the ground that they're growing or close enough to the surface that their roots can reach, they're not going to have the minerals in the plants that we eat or even our livestock eat.
Yeah, the plants only need 3 minerals. We need 60.
There's a big difference. That's 59, Dr. Wallach, 59 mineral difference for them to look good and us to look good. So I say, folks, it's super simple. Let's get the 90 essential nutrients into the body. Let the body do what it was designed to do. If you have some things that have already started going awry in your body, it's going to take a little extra. But it's like oxygen. The body needs it each and every day. So, Dr. Wallach, we have some hands up. I want to make sure that we get to all of them. We've got questions out on YouTube. We've got questions here in the Zoom room. And I want to do a shout out and hello to everybody joining us today. We are on so many different platforms. I feel very, very blessed and honored to be able to get this information to people where they're at. So if you're listening to us, whether it's a replay or live, please put a comment in and let us know. Type in live if you're on the live. Type in replay if you're on the replay. Don't forget to like and follow us on whatever platform that is, but don't forget to enter in our giveaway also. So we are doing another giveaway. Yesterday, I announced the winners from last month's giveaway. I'm reaching out to them, still waiting for some of them to respond so that we can get their thank you for sharing this message out to them as well. So that's at dwdgiveaway.com. And Dr. Wallach?
Yes.
Thank you for talking about hemoglobin, because for 35 years, I was so anemic they didn't even want to look at my blood. They kept turning me away. But I got on your program, not even knowing that I was working on my blood as well. And now I can sit for a double whole blood donation and full and even plasma, whatever I want to do. They're like, we'll take it. Where I went being rejected for so long, and it made me feel bad because I've got a unique blood type that is universal. So the fact that I couldn't help anybody that way and having a heart of wanting to help people, now I can do it in a much greater sense, knowing that it works, because it's allowed me to be able to help even more people through what my body is producing each and every day that people are losing. So tell us about blood transfusions real quick, if you don't mind. How do blood transfusions help?
Okay, well, blood transfusions help when somebody has lost a lot of blood from an accident or something where major blood vessels get sliced and they're bleeding, or they've been anemic for a long time because they've been nutritionally deficient for a long time. Either way, yeah. And a transfusion will immediately give you a couple of pints, 1 or 2 pints of blood that have normal hemoglobin levels in there. And that's going to help the oxygen carrying capacity of your blood for 21 days, because those red blood cells live about 21 days. Okay, so they're continuously being replaced because they only live 21 days. Okay, and so it's one of those things where the the need for red blood cells is unimpeachable. The need goes until the last second of your life. No matter what you die from, you need the hemoglobin to get the oxygen to every place, including your brain and your heart and your lungs and your liver and your kidneys and your bones and your muscles and skin and all that kind of stuff. But also, if you're not making hemoglobin because you're nutritionally deficient, or you're eating gluten and buckwheat, and even if you're supplementing, you can't absorb it. There's all these things going on that will make you anemic, and they'll give you a blood transfusion. And then what happens in 21 days? Well, then you're anemic again because you haven't changed your diet, all this kind of stuff. And so you do really have to sit down. And that's what you hear me say all the time. Get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown oats, no buckwheat for the phagopyrines, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet drinks, and also the carbonated water got to go because they interfere with the absorption of minerals and other nutrients, okay? And so it's imperative that we pay attention to these details. Now, well, did they have to do this hundreds and thousands of years ago? Yeah, but they had an advantage we don't have. They were using wood and coal as fuel for over 3,000 years?
A long time.
A long time, more than 3,000 years, okay? Just the Old Testament was written 3,000 years ago, okay? And so it's one of those things where they were getting these nutrients because wood ashes and coal ashes are 95% minerals, only 2 or 3% carbon. And there were places on Earth where they had lots of minerals in the soil. And so when they burned the wood that grew in that soil, the plants that grew in that soil, and they put the wood ashes into their gardens and into their food as a spice, but they also put it in their gardens, and they realized that their yield increased when they put the wood ashes and coal ashes into their gardens. Instead of getting a tomato that was 1.5 inches in diameter, the tomatoes would be 3 and 4 inches in diameter. Okay. Instead of having on a stem 6 tomatoes, you'd get 12 or 15. So they knew that. So that's why they kept putting the wood ashes and coal ashes in the gardens. But what they didn't realize, those plants were also absorbing the minerals. And when you ate those tomatoes, guess what? You got the minerals because you're eating tomatoes. You got the minerals from the wood ashes that were put into the gardens that grew those tomatoes. And they didn't realize that. Okay. And so when we went to electricity at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, that all changed. It was a huge change after thousands and thousands and thousands of years of running it one way. Yeah, that's why we wrote the book Hell's Kitchen. That tells you this transfer from wood and coal as fuel to electricity. All the negative health things we have today are the results of the switch to electricity. Now, don't get me wrong, there's good points about electricity, but the ignorance, okay? And doctors would say, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need. Don't, you can't say that. You can't just eat well and get everything you need. You need to eat well and supplement properly. That way, unless you want to analyze each meal and see what's in it, what's not in it, it's much more economical just to take the 90 essential nutrients. And of course, we have the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, which has 215 nutrients in it. The core is still the 90. And we have secret sauces, we call it, for what should I say, common disease like diabetes and high blood pressure and arthritis and birth defects of all kinds. We have what we call secret sauces to prevent, and in many cases, you can reverse those diseases, okay, by taking those supplements. So we're working at this day and night, as you point out, and we have a huge, huge, huge following around the world. We're in 80 countries right now. We're working on a second group of countries. It depends on who you're talking to. It's like 37 other countries in this block, and we're working to get them into our programs. Right now, it's sporadic because they are listening, and so there are many of them, getting the secret sauces and getting the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and this kind of stuff. But it's not a universal, countrywide, or regional thing. And so we're working on to step up to that other plate and get it into all 37 countries at the universal level.
Well, and going back to hemoglobin and how it's alive, vital, working in the body, that totally connects now, because every 3 weeks they were wanting to do blood transfusions. So now I know why. They didn't tell me
Because the
why.
red blood cells only live 21 days. even
Yeah.
ones he got transfused with, even one from other people.
Yeah. So, folks, I don't know if you learned anything new today, but I did. And I hope that you share this information with somebody as well, especially those who are dealing with having low iron or symptoms of being anemic, tiredness. Uh, what are some other symptoms of anemic? I know I was tired. I hurt all over. I had so many things going on. I didn't know what pain, what condition, what discomfort was associated to what. Now I have a better idea, but there's so many things that can go on wrong in the body that's linked to your blood and the hemoglobin
That's
and
correct.
not transferring the oxygen and the nutrition throughout the body. So
You get an A plus.
what was that?
You get an A plus.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Well, let's see if we can give some other people some A pluses, Dr. Wallach, of information that can help them create a better health journey. And the first person that I see here, I'm going to Marilyn. Marilyn, go ahead and unmute.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, I have a client that has cataracts, and you had often mentioned, you said sometimes you don't, you will need surgery. So they want to know, how do they know when they're going to need surgery? And because I'll just leave it like that.
Okay. What they need to do is take the program, okay, and get off all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rye oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go, and carbonated water got to go. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, they need one healthy brain and heart pack per month. They need one bottle of MSM per month for everything from the bone marrow and to bones and cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue. They need the collagen peptides for the same thing. I would also have them take the Occutive or Occutip, take 3 of those twice a day. Okay, that's going to give the eye special nutrients it needs to function and maintain itself, okay, including the lens, okay, and the iris and the retina and the macula, which is that part of the brain, or not part of the brain, part of the back of the eyeball that the optic nerve is going into. Okay, the macula. When you get degeneration of the macula, it's called macular degeneration. Okay, that's because usually you got osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the optic nerve and the optic artery and the optic vein. You're not getting nutrition to that part of the eyeball anymore, so it dies. That's why you get, okay, macular degeneration. Okay, so get all these nutrients, and I'd give it a couple of months. I'd get an examination every couple of weeks and find out how those eyes are doing. And then you can make a decision after, say, 2 or 3 months.
So after about 90 days, if you're
Yes.
still having problems. All right, thank you.
You bet.
All right. Thank you, Marilyn, for bringing that question. I know there's a lot of people that have issues with cataracts. Dr. Wallach, we've got a question here on YouTube, and Annie wants to know, what do you take if you're allergic to MSM? So MSM is methylsulfate methane, which I know is a component that the body needs to help maintain connective tissue, the tendons, the ligaments, the vertebrae, the discs between the vertebrae. So are there any alternatives, or what would your recommendation for that be?
Okay, I'd go with the collagen peptides.
Okay.
Go with collagen peptides, which is collagen from fish, poultry, sheep, and beef.
Yes.
Okay.
So 5 different types of collagen in the collagen peptides that are offered by Longevity. And you know what I like the best about them, Dr. Wallach? They don't change the flavor of whatever you add them to, and they don't stink. I mean, I've smelled some pretty raunchy collagen, Doc, and I love the Longevity collagen. So great question, Annie. Thank you for asking that. Let's go to the next hand that is up, and Aaron, go ahead and unmute yourself. And what question do you have for Dr. Wallach today?
I guess it would tie into your monologue. and to clarify that there are no genetic diseases pertaining especially to the blood. There's hemochromatosis, polycythemia, then you've got gluten or celiac disease. There's a ton of genetic diseases. I'm kind of confused.
Well, those aren't, no, they're not genetic diseases.
The HLA-DR is celiac, so that is a genetic.
See, yes. Okay, celiac is not a genetic disease.
Then why do they test genetics? Or even
because that's how they make their living, so they can send their kid to college.
Because hemochromatosis and polycythemia are related to the blood, and those are genetic. Those are passed down because
they're not genetic. They're passed down because they're using the same recipe that your grandma used.
Yeah, but there's no way to fix it nutritionally when you're making too much blood or too much iron.
Well, the simple temporary way to resolve it is to take a pint of blood from the person every month. Right. Okay, just take a pint of blood and give it to somebody else. It's not a genetic thing. It's not infectious. There's no viruses or anything involved. Okay, these are nutritional deficiencies, and there are no genetically transmitted diseases. Okay, that was a prospect that people put forth over 100 years ago when they first discovered genes. Okay, everything was a genetic disease at that point. There are no genetically transmitted diseases, and that's why you don't hear much about them anymore, because, as they say in France, there ain't none.
Yeah, but if you've got too much blood or too much iron, you can't fix that nutritionally.
Well, you can fix it nutritionally. So let me interject real quick, because I have about 6 clients that used to have to go in and have blood drawn because they were making too much. We got them on a program. They no longer have to do that. What Dr. Wallach is saying is that not being genetic is absolutely correct, and it is absolutely correct that it's nutritional. You get somebody on a program and they don't have that problem anymore. I have 6 people that have proven that. So it's nutrition. I had so many things that I was told were genetic, and now I have no symptoms, no signs, no tests show that I still have it, because I don't.
What did your doctor say about that, Becca?
Well, I would say that the doctors were completely wrong, only because they were taught incorrect, Dr. Wallach. Mm-hmm. They were taught incorrect. Nutrition plays so much into what we are today, and with us regenerating cells and every cell within our body being a brand new cell over 7 years. I mean, what we do today is going to make a difference next year, the year after, because we're feeding our body and giving it the nutrition that it's been starving for. And when we have complications with our blood, it's because we're starving for nutrition that's missing. So I understand what you're saying, Aaron. They throw it in our face. They preach that all these things are genetic. There's nothing you can do, and they are wrong. Like Dr. Wallach says, dead doctors don't lie, and somebody should go to jail. I'm sorry for getting so heated about this, but I've seen it happen, and I've seen their claims debunked, to put it nicely.
What's the program to fix it?
And what's the program to fix it? Dr. Wallach?
Okay,
tell him the program.
Okay, the general program to fix it, yeah, the general program to fix blood issues is to stay away from all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, barley, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet drinks got to go, and carbonated water got to go. And then take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Has 215 nutrients in it, including all 90 essential nutrients. Okay, and you also want to take the MSM. Take 3 of those twice a day. That will rebuild the bone marrow. That will rebuild the bone marrow. That will rebuild the bone marrow. So they'll make normal red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, antibodies, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and people used to have to go in, as Rebecca said, every month for blood transfusions, every 60 days for blood transfusion for their life. for years and years and years and years. And once we came out with the truth, okay, and published this in a book that anybody could get from a bookstore, okay, suddenly now they're asking their doctor, wait a minute, this book says this, what about this? Well, I better check it out. And they check it out and they say, okay, let's go that direction. And they did. And within weeks, they didn't have to have a blood transfusion anymore.
Well, I've been following the nutrients, no bad foods for 6 months, and my health has actually gotten a lot worse.
I didn't hear what you said.
I was saying that I've been following the 90 essential and no bad foods for 6 months, and my labs have actually gotten worse. My health has actually gotten worse, so it's not working.
Okay. Do you live in a household where other people are eating gluten?
Nope, 100% gluten free. I've got air purification and.
Okay. Do you drink beer?
Nope, I'm 100% perfect. And I follow the keto diet, the keto cubes, and all of that.
Okay, well, here's what I want you to do. Get a hair analysis. Get that book, Rare Earths and Cures. Get a hair analysis. Let's find out what you're absorbing. If you have any toxic minerals in you, what you're absorbing. What kind of work do you do?
I work from home, so I'm 100% secure from everything. I mean,
okay, what do you do for work?
Do management of other companies remotely.
So it's all paperwork and computer work.
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. Well, again, I would look at what you're eating because vegetables from one county are different from the same vegetable from a different county is different because plants don't make minerals. Say, oh, well, if you want this mineral, eat this vegetable. You can't say that because if that vegetable is being grown in a farm that doesn't have those minerals in the soil, the plant can't make those minerals. Okay, so people say, well, I eat a lot of oranges for vitamin C, or I eat a lot of beets for iron. You can't guarantee you're going to get iron from beets because they don't make it.
Yeah, don't know. It's a mystery.
Well, keep going, Aaron. Keep going.
Because mystery, you just haven't put your finger on the cause. Just kind of rethink everything you're doing. Rethink everything you're doing. Get that hair analysis. Rethink everything you're doing. It wouldn't hurt to get an analysis of your drinking water if you get it from a well or something like that.
No, I have purified water from Eastern Oregon, and so it's all purified from volcanic rock, and so it's pure water. I've had the hair analysis; everything was fine there. I've done all of that, and nothing comes to mind.
So something to think about with a lot of purification systems, they alkalize.
Well, it's coming from the volcanic rock, so it's purified through the earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
But appreciate some volcanic rock only has 3 minerals in it. Some volcanic rocks has 5, some have 10, some have 25, some have 50, some have 75. So do your volcanic rocks have 3 or 5? You need to find out how many minerals are in that volcanic rock.
Yeah.
They're not all the same.
And keep going and focus on digestion, because if you're not getting the results, the things are not being absorbed. So really look at digestion would be something to support.
Yep.
It's genetic because you give me
there are no genetic diseases. There are no genetic diseases.
By IV.
There are no genetic diseases. 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 Stop thinking that.
All right, Dr. Wallach. I think we got the message across there. I'm hoping. So, Aaron, I know that you're going to get results as long as you're doing what Dr. Wallach says. Double check everything. Do testing just to confirm that you are getting absorption. That's what the hair analysis is going to give you. There's a lot of things, folks, that we can do on our own. It does not take a white coat writing us a script for or sending a referral for, or we can help ourselves. And it doesn't happen overnight. If you've been dealing with something for decades, you can't expect it to be completely taken care of in 6 months or even a year. Some of us get better and faster results than others, but it all depends on the digestive system, not just what we're putting in our mouth, but what we're absorbing. Dr. Wallach, let's go to the next hand that is up. And Sherry, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, Dr. Wallach. This is for a 49-year-old female. She's 5'7",
She weighs 130 pounds. She has asthma, but her biggest problem right now is dog allergies. It's getting worse. They live on a farm, so they have 3 very large dogs that protect their animals. So they must keep the dogs. They're outside dogs, but she seems to be getting worse to the point where she has to almost sleep sitting up at night. Any ideas?
Okay, well, the first thing, she got lots of animals on the farm. Is she eating gluten? Is she eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats? Is she eating some of
I
the...
did ask her that. She said she only eats a little bit of sprouted grains.
Okay, that's just like, I only shoot myself in the head with a 22. I don't use a 45. I only do a 22. Okay. Yeah, so there's a problem right there. Okay. And so she's getting some gluten. Okay. And so sprouted grains, she's getting gluten. And then that's a big thing right there. And then at 130 pounds, I wanted to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, the full dose, everything. Well, half a dose twice a day, excuse me, half a dose twice a day. She's 1 bottle a month of the MSM. She can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. That's going to rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, makes bone itself, including for white blood cells and and red blood cells and platelets and antibodies, all that kind of stuff. Also, I wanted to use our rebound or sports drink. Okay. And we have the canisters, we have the sticks, we do have the cans. If she wants to drink the cans, she got to pop the tops on them, put them in the refrigerator at night so that all the carbonation is gone by morning. That's going to give her another 100 nutrients, 5 minerals, and 25 vitamins, amino acids. And your immune system requires an enormous amount of nutrition. Okay. And if you're eating a lot of sprouted grains, that's problematic. Okay, because guess what? Sprouted grains have gluten in them. Okay, and so it's problematic. Now, if she's allergic to the dogs, or is she allergic to the dog food? Okay, and this is something she'd have to see a allergist about and do some skin tests and all this kind of stuff to find out if she's really allergic to the dogs or if she's really allergic to the dog food or whatever. But she may have to get cats. Okay, instead of watchdogs, get watch cats. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you bet.
All right, thank you, Sherry and Dr. Wallach. Let's move right over to Charlotte. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I did it. I
Hello.
actually found it. Hello, Dr. Wallach. Thank you for taking my call. I actually have several people that I had questions for, but I'm going to start with myself. I am 5'1", 126 pounds. I'm 56. I am on the essential sugar, the blood sugar pack, but I've been doing some fasting or working on that, and now I'm suddenly gaining weight. I do go to the bathroom 1 to 3 times through the night. I still have night sweats. Every time my husband touches me, I have a hot flash. I'm not doing any of the bad foods. I've not done oils forever. It's been at least 6 years, and I'm now gluten-free because of what you've asked. But I'm also taking the EFA, the Sweeties, the Glucogel, the selenium, the MSM. And I guess the question is, should I add the woman's hormonal balance to my regimen?
Yeah, can't hurt to do the woman's FX. Okay, and the what is it, Xerafem. You do the Xerafem thing. Okay, that will give you take 2 or 3 of those tablets a day. That's going to help your ovaries produce more female hormones. Okay, Xerafem. Okay, and then
Okay.
don't forget the plant minerals. You can either take it as the rebound or sports drink, or you can do it just as the liquid mineral. I do both. I take the liquid plant minerals at breakfast and dinner. I take the rebound. I take 1 or 2 doses of that a day, and then of course if I'm doing something heavy duty on the weekends, loading and unloading, that kind of stuff, or walking long distances, I will go to 3 doses a day of the rebound or sports drink with 100 nutrients in it. And so, you have to kind of think of your tractors and your cars and motorcycles and everything. You pay attention to the oil and the fuel and so forth, and the coolants and so on. You need to do the same thing for yourself. Okay.
Okay. Okay. And then I have two other people. One's my husband. He's 5'11". He's 155 pounds. He's 57 years of age. He's taken the essential bone and joint pack and the active eyes. He's wondering if he would like to get away from his reading glasses. So I don't know if there's anything else we should be giving him toward his eyes.
Okay, for the eyes, occupative vision effects,
Vision.
The ultimate daily classic, which is to get blood flowing through blocked arteries in the brain and the eyes and heart and that kind of stuff. Okay. And so let's start there. That's a lot, to think about. Okay.
Yep. And then is it ever possible to cure anyone from type 1 diabetics?
You can manage it very nicely. Type 1 diabetics, kids are born with it. It's a birth defect. When somebody is 50, 60 years old and they're diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, they need to change doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
well, this is crazy because he was 18. He's a twin.
Mhm.
He's 190, about 5'4", 28 years old. His sister was diagnosed diabetic at age 12, and he was at age 18.
Okay. Yeah,
That's crazy to me.
This is a nutritional deficiency. They're probably eating gluten. Teenagers are eating gluten. They're eating pancakes and waffles and spaghetti and all that kind of stuff, right? And hamburger buns and so on. Yeah. So they need to get rid of all the bad foods. The glutens, wheat, butter, bran, oats, buckwheat, all that's got to go. Carbonated drinks got to go. And then they need the healthy brain and heart pack and whatever health issues they wind up with. We have secret sauces to add to that whole program for those issues. Okay.
And they have to continue their insulin, correct? Because like I was out at the restaurant with him and he's having to shoot him.
Their insulin will be based on their blood sugar levels.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, he was counting that all out.
Yeah, and so you have to appreciate if they had normal blood sugar until they're 17, 18, 20 years old, they don't have type 1 diabetes. They have type 2 diabetes. You're born with type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is a birth defect. It's not a genetic thing, but mama was missing stuff when the pancreas beta cells in the islets of Langerhans were being formed, which make insulin, and she didn't have enough. And so instead of having 500 beta cells in each islet of Langerhans in the pancreas, she might only have 3. Okay, and so she's not making enough insulin, and they're born a type 1 diabetic. You don't become a type 1 diabetic when you're 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. That's the science of crapola.
Yeah. I think I'll have her call in so you can convince her, right?
Okay.
I'll have her call in.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Great question, Charlotte. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Dr. Wallach, it is time for you to go. So I apologize. We didn't get to all the questions that we had come in today and with the hands up. Everybody, you heard a lot. And Dr. Wallach, thank you again for joining us here on Daily with Doc.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye. And if I could get my co-hosts up with me, folks, there's a lot that has been misinformation. And they're even wanting to censor us because we are giving information that goes to the heart of the matter, that gets results, because folks, there's no denying to take somebody who has major issues throughout the whole entire body, put them on a program, and they no longer have those issues anymore. I'm living proof of it. And I have hundreds of clients that are living proof of it. AJ is living proof of it. I know Marilyn and Sherry and Phyllis, they also have experience with themselves and clients. And Albert, he's working on his as well. And Ruth Ellen. I mean, there's so many people within our little organization that have felt the difference. I mean, even people with complete muscle atrophy. Oh my goodness, Coach Rod completely rebuilt his body using Dr. Wallach's program. And now using his story to help others. And that's what we do. We're all using our stories and sharing with others that we relate because we felt it, we've been there, and we're able to help you get out of it as well. Again, this program is for nutritional or for informational purposes only on the importance of nutrition. But man, I think it was a great show. We had some difficult questions, and Dr. Wallach, he just held his ground because he knows it's the truth. He has seen it. We have seen it. So folks, don't let somebody tell you that you have something that you're going to have to live with the rest of your life. I mean, type 1 diabetes, yeah. Physical deformities, maybe, yeah. But let's support the rest of the body so it can be the best that it absolutely can be. I just want to do a huge shout out to all of my co-hosts, Phyllis out there on the different platforms, fielding comments and questions, Sherry coming in and bringing information, also fielding questions from here inside the room of Zoom, and letting people in and watching cameras, and Albert watching cameras and letting people in and making sure that we're keeping this a safe place. Because folks, if you were invited by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them. We are here as a resource for an amazing community. And we want to make sure that we continue to maintain that integrity. If you haven't worked with anybody before, then feel free to give us a call at 855-949-3377. And to continue my thanks, I have Marilyn, who is doing such a fantastic job, and Phyllis is helping with this as well, putting this information, doing dictation, transcribing, putting it into the chat, which is one of the biggest advantages of being here with us live. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, Phyllis, for doing that as well. And for my assistant executive production manager, AJ, who is, yeah, you, buddy, making sure that we're getting this live streamed throughout all the different platforms and keeping it solid and rolling. So thank you, AJ, for doing that as well. Everybody, thank you for taking time and investing in yourself. You know, when we invest in ourselves, it's not just money, but it's time, it's knowledge, and then taking that time, realizing our value, our worth, and implementing things into our own life. That's what's going to be making a change, including our mindset. If we go around living in fear, we go around thinking that everybody's out to get us, that everything is negative all around us, that like puts a shield around us that protects all the good stuff from coming in as well. Protects our body because of that stress that is within the cells, prevents absorption. So with the Institute of Holistic Health, we look at the body as a whole, mind, body, soul. We encourage you to find out information about it at coachwithdoc.com. That's coachwithdoc.com. It's available to anybody and everybody that is interested in finding out about the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, the solutions to those deficiencies, and working on the mind and spirit and emotions as well. So until next time, we just want to thank you again for joining us. Share this program with others. Don't forget dwdgiveaway.com. Register for our giveaway. Like our pages, our channels, comment, and let us know that you're there. Let us know if you have questions that you would like to get solutions to as well. Our website, dailywithdoc.com. We do have replays from our past programming. We have the good foods, bad foods list that Dr. Wallach mentioned many times. And I also have on there, what should I take, or what do I take? A section that goes through and lists the body packs, what makes them that body pack, and the secret sauces that are added to the 90 essential nutrients. We've got the core. We've got those secret sauces for a simple way to get started. So the getting started, that's the biggest step, folks. Get started. You're worth it. And if you have questions, use that contact option on the website as well. Bye for now.